is quite a character. People in New York City, they didn't know where tuberculosis came from.
Grandparents still lived in Brooklyn. I moved in 1963.
All of a sudden, I had a family, and I had to earn a living.
Brutus.
Gangsters, there were baseball players, there were politicians.
And the one thing I remember was the water tasted awful. It just tasted like chemicals.
So he came up here to die.
This used to be a bookstore when we bought it.
Several things happened. At the end of World War II, of course, the government began to subsidize the auto industry.
And there was no such thing as bottled water back then.
Last train leaving Saranac Lake.
You probably would enjoy the old infrastructure.
The largest spinach farm in America was here.
When he has friends here, he gets so happy. Biggest thing is he doesn't want people to leave.
How well I best do this. He's never even had a fight with an animal.
Yeah.
He's just not an aggressive creature. How are you, buddy?
But the house was really good. Like you guys have set it really well.
Here. Looky here. Good boy.
Had the idea of making a development there, and he
Ah.
had a lot of battles with environmentalists to be able to sell one house. And it never became what he envisioned it.
Okay.
But he lived to be 96 years old. I know him
96?
very well. Yeah. And he and his wife Audrey. And he is quite a character. I know him very well.
How long have you been here?
Well, we've lived here full time for 31 years.
31.
But I spent all my summers here when I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather had a camp on Lower Saranac Lake, and I would spend, as soon as school got out, until school started again in the fall, I would be up there.
So you didn't live anywhere apart from Adirondacks? Like you spent all your life here?
No. I only spent the summers here when I was
Summers
young.
here, okay.
I grew up in New Jersey, but I lived in Maine and in Switzerland. And
where in New Jersey?
Morris County.
Ah. I stay near Jersey City, if you are aware about it.
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember when Newport Village, their city was just empty waterfront.
Oh,
Before
Newport, yeah.
Yeah, before all that was built, it was just landfill, really, and swamp.
Oh yeah, now it's one of the top spots.
Yeah. I went, in 2011, I went down there, and I took the little trolley car that came from, I guess, Newark. I can't remember where I got it from, and I rode through there, and I was just amazed at how it had changed and how
Changed a lot. Have you been there recently? No, I don't think so.
Not since last I was there was 2011.
Oh, okay. 15
And
years.
it had changed so much. I mean, I knew it when there was nothing there. I had a friend who had a yacht club on the waterfront there, and there was nothing around it. It was just grass. And
now they have
it's a
just
whole city. Big buildings. I lived in a little town called Chatham, which was
Good morning.
Good morning, Doreen.
to the west of Jersey City,
Okay.
in the Watchung Mountains, and on the edge of the Great Swamp National Wildlife Refuge, near Morristown.
No.
You know where Morristown is in New Jersey?
I recently moved. I studied at Indiana, Purdue University, and then I moved to New York for my full time. So, still getting
So where do you live now?
Jersey City.
You live in Jersey City
Yeah.
now?
The other guy stays in Seattle.
Seattle, Washington, that's a long way.
Yeah, he made a long trip, and then the girl is from Boston. She's studying there. So,
What is your ethnic origin?
Asian Indian. We are from India. Yeah. We all came for our masters, higher education, and then started working.
What kind of work do you do?
I am a civil engineer. So everything with construction.
That's what I went to school for, but
Civil
I dropped
engineer.
it. I dropped it. All of a sudden I had a family, and I had to earn a living.
You had to drop it.
But it helped me. I designed and built houses for
Wow.
my own business for years. So what I learned helped me very well. Very
The
much.
construction side of things.
Yeah. Yeah, we did, and my sons continuing that, my grandsons.
Oh, they are in the same field.
Yeah, they grew up working with me. We do everything from clearing the land to excavating to the last bits of finished carpentry.
Only in this area? Or?
Yeah, on the lakefronts mostly.
Wow.
Yeah, we did some really beautiful stuff that wound up getting in magazines and rustic style. I did a lot of historic renovations.
Brutus.
They went up on Mount Pisgah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, that was really good.
Beautiful views.
That was really good.
And they went to the river trail.
Okay.
River Trail Beer Works, yeah, that was really good. The food was amazing and the bonfire, we were sitting by the bonfire.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Unfortunately, it was raining, but still it was the best.
Some of our best memories are camping in the rain.
Oh, it's so.
We would come up here with our kids for 3 weeks when our kids were young and camp out on Lower Saranac Lake in tents. And we had a dining canopy. We'd set up like a little city there and stay for 3 weeks at a time. And we really enjoyed it.
What's the best thing about this area? I mentioned in my video that like it gives a really good countryside feel away from the city,
Yeah.
all the hustle, so feels at peace.
Peaceful. It is.
It is very peaceful. And the town grew as a health spa during the days of tuberculosis.
Oh yeah, you said they had.
And in fact, the population of the village itself, that's why it's called the little city in the Adirondacks. The population of just Saranac Lake, the village, was 8,600. It's now below 5,000. But it had everything that a little city would
Should
have.
have,
It had a hospital. It had, back then, a college, semi-pro baseball. There were jewelers. There was every industry that you could imagine was here in a small form.
Oh.
You could, because very rich people came here and very poor people, and it was kind of a melting pot of that. And when tuberculosis was prevalent, people in New York City, they didn't know where tuberculosis came from,
Okay.
but they knew when they came up here and breathed the mountain air, and it gets very cold here in the winter. This is one of the coldest towns in the United States.
Oh, okay.
An average of 17 times each winter, this is the cold spot. It will go down to, it's partly because of the elevation and how the winds are set. The temperature will go down sometimes to 45 below zero Fahrenheit.
Is it?
But they found that when this man, Dr. Trudeau, he nursed his brother who was dying of tuberculosis in New York City. And he decided that if he ever got tuberculosis, he would come up here and live out his life fishing and hunting. At this time, this was a tiny settlement. So he came up here to die, and to his amazement, he got better. Quite a bit better. And so he advertised for 4 people to come up. He built a little cabin, and he invited 4, he asked doctors to send him 4 TB sufferers.
Oh, okay.
And they showed quite a bit of improvement. And he believed it was from breathing the mountain air.
Yeah.
They got fresh produce. Everything was clean. There's a lot of pollens of pine and balsam and fragrant pollens of the evergreen trees. Whatever it was, people began to get better.
Okay.
So he built there's on the back side of Mount Pisgah is the old Trudeau, what did they call it? Sanitarium.
Okay.
It was like a village for people. They had doctors, they had shops, they had places for people to live, to convalesce. And pretty soon, all around the area, not just in the village of Saranac Lake, but in Braybrook, over toward Lake Placid, in Tupper Lake, there's a giant, what was for the veterans. It's now, it houses the criminally insane, but it was a place called Sunmount that was where military people who had TB would come. There was one built for nuns. There were all different sanitariums all around here. And it became a very profitable place for farmers because there was such a demand. Thousands of people here. So all around here were productive farms. And part of Trudeau's ingredients for getting better was to feed people farm fresh food, fresh milk, and so there were dairies. There were all around here were prosperous farms. It also became the seed potato headquarters of the world because of the cold weather, the virus that causes the potato blight and almost wiped out Ireland. The Irish farmers came over here and found that because of the cold weather, that virus would not live through the winter. And so they began growing seed potatoes. They still ship them all over the world from here. There are huge potato fields, but there used to be many more. The largest spinach farm in America was here. It's a cold weather crop. That's what I have growing out in the gutters there on the outside porch.
Oh wow!
There's spinach and lettuce, but spinach grows cold weather crops grow very well here.
Very well, yeah.
And the potatoes favor acidic soil, sandy acidic soil, which is what there is north of here. There's a big plain, a plateau that has and they grow thousands and thousands of pounds of potatoes. So Dr. Trudeau pushed for them to complete the railroad from Utica up here, so Saranac Lake, you could go anywhere in the United States by train. There were 21 to 24 passenger trains every day came into the station right over there. And you could go to Plattsburgh, you could go to Montreal, you could go over to Tupper Lake and head to Ottawa and intersect with the Canadian main line, or go down to Utica and hit the Boston to Chicago main line there. So they could ship. There used to be 21 cars a day shipped out of Gabriel's, just north of the village of Saranac Lake, of potatoes going all over the country. They had a train that had 21 cars, and every day they would load it and take it out during potato harvest in the fall. There was a lot of commerce going on here. When several things happened, at the end of World War II, of course, the government began to subsidize the auto industry at the expense of the railroad industry. They put taxes on the railroads to help fund
auto industry,
the auto and oil industry. And they came in 1950. Right here in Saranac Lake, they came up with the cure for tuberculosis. And suddenly, instead of people living here, and that's why the houses all around here had big front porches. They would rent them out for TB patients, and they'd sit outside during the day on beds, even in the winter, and breathe the mountain air. And many of them died. Many of them didn't get better, but enough people got better that it was worth it. People would try it. There were gangsters, there were baseball players, there were politicians that came here. But when they came up with the cure, almost overnight, the population dropped by over 3,000. And the big sanitariums that housed thousands of people on the periphery, they also lost all their inhabitants within a few years. And almost every farm in the area went out of business because they had never gotten in most areas, farmers get tied into cooperatives that buy their milk or buy their produce. They never needed that here because they had a built-in market.
Yeah.
So they never got on the milk runs, and most of the farmers couldn't adjust and were out of business within
They could.
a few years. About 2 years after the cure, most of the farms here closed up, and but there were sheep farms, there were horse farms, there were all kinds of farms. And if you drive around the roads around Saranac Lake, you'll see these beautiful barns
Okay.
that show that they came from a prosperous era. And then with that, when that happened, very few people stopped using the continued using the railroad. And my grandmother, I remember in 1963, when we were at our camp, my grandmother took the train from New York City to Saranac Lake, and my dad and I went over to the train station and waited for her to come in on the train. And she had traveled all night on the train.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
she said that was the most beautiful ride I ever had.
Wow.
And that painting up there is the last train leaving Saranac Lake.
That was the last train. Wow.
That was, I think, was that 2017?
That was 2017.
2017. Oh, not
And
too.
my cousin painted that for me from a picture in the newspaper. That man in the red is me right there.
Oh, that's you.
And I
Wow.
got to ride in the locomotive as it left town
Wow.
over Tupper Lake. Yeah. It was
So nice.
pretty interesting to get to do that.
Last train.
So that story about Saranac Lake, if you're a civil engineer,
Yeah.
that kind of is up your alley, like the change in the town and how it developed.
Yeah. Some of the civil engineers do. My focus is like mostly underground projects, like water storage tank, tunnel for transportation, sewer, etc. So
That must be very interesting.
interesting. Yeah. You go 50 feet underground, build the walls, make sure nothing collapses,
Yeah.
make a safe working condition. So that's some of my work.
Do you work in the field mostly?
Yes,
or
I work
the
in
office?
field. My site is in Brooklyn. So that's a $300 million project by New York City Department of Environmental Protection. And we have to create a 8 million gallon storage tank. So when the storm water comes in, we want to store that water before sending it to the pump station. Because there's a canal nearby and we don't want to send the sewer water and the storm water directly before treating. So
When I was a little girl, I was born in Brooklyn,
okay.
and my park where I used to play was under the Verrazano Bridge where they were building it.
Oh, okay.
And I watched, as a little girl, them build the Verrazano Bridge.
Oh, okay. Wow. When was it?
That would have been in like 1962.
62. Oh, okay.
But where?
Yeah, up on the top shelf, I think you put in those two books on Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I thought you put them on.
Yesterday, we were sorting through books,
Mm-hmm.
and they were so small.
Well, they were long, but not.
Yeah.
Maybe you put them on the shelf below.
Could this be them? Yeah.
Oh.
This used to be a bookstore when we bought it.
This.
This house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a used bookstore, and we saved some of the books. But this was Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Why don't you just give them to them?
Yeah. Would you like them?
If you don't need it,
We don't need
You,
them.
you would find it.
that would be really good. Like I can go through everything.
It's
Borough
old,
Hall,
old pictures of.
historic and beautiful Brooklyn. Wow. Where is the bridge that you said? Like which area is it? Like,
Bay Ridge.
Bay Ridge. Oh,
Yeah.
I used to stay near that Sunset Park. I used to stay there for a while.
But you probably would enjoy the old infrastructure and of Brooklyn. We'd love to have you have them.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks a lot, Doreen. Yeah, I will. And what is this? Even this is.
That's
The same?
Brooklyn as well.
Oh, okay, Brooklyn Eagle.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, it is. So you guys read a lot of books, or it's just that you said it was a bookstore, that's why you have all
this
the
is
Those-
my library.
Your library, okay.
We saved a few books that they had.
A lot
Oh.
on this side are books from the
From the original store.
Like those, we saved ones
Wow.
that we thought people might be really
interested in.
But
Yeah.
most of we got rid of 10,000. It took them about 2 years to empty the books after we bought it, and I finally packed them up, and they donated them to something for books for children.
But
And
that was our apartment.
upstairs, yeah,
Oh,
we
you used to
were
stay.
renting that, and we bought it from them, and we made an apartment in the back for my mother-in-law. She's 93 years old. She lives beyond our apartment in
Oh,
there.
okay.
And then we have another one upstairs in the back that we're renovating right now. And
But when we bought it primarily so we could build a place for my mom.
Oh,
So
the apartment behind this?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
So-
it's through the door right there.
So
is
we
her-
can just go in and out. We can hear, like, if she drops her cane or
Oh.
she's partly blind, and but he was not disabled yet, so we still had the apartment, and we thought we might make this into a store.
into a store.
But then when he became disabled, we had to move down here, so we had that apartment. So,
Good morning.
oh,
How'd you sleep?
Hey, Brutus. How are you?
last night after he came in,
Yeah.
when he has friends
Yeah.
here, he gets so happy and he jumped up on the bed, all delighted, like telling us, I have friends upstairs.
You wanted to see us?
How did you sleep?
Very well.
Really perfect, yeah.
Good. Good.
So you live in Seattle?
Yeah, I live in Seattle. Yeah.
All the way.
You came a long way to see Sarah Hathaway.
I used to live in New York before,
Yeah.
so a
In,
lot of my
in
friends
New
are
York
over
City
here.
or?
Yeah, in the city. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Graduated from NYU.
Too.
So,
Well, we just gave your friend some books from Brooklyn, because I was born in Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
historic Brooklyn.
Oh wow.
They're old pictures
Brutus.
of the infrastructure of Brooklyn. We probably
Good
have
boy.
one in Boston, probably have one in Seattle, too.
Oh, nice.
No, we don't.
No?
The only thing we have that might relate to Seattle is the instructions on how to fly the space shuttle.
Oh.
Oh.
I spent a winter out in
We gave them to him to keep, so.
Oh, thank you.
delivering trucks out of Pacific.
Put us.
My territory was Kamloops, British Columbia, down to Mount Shasta. So I was going through Seattle every day, pretty much.
Hey, Brutus. Hello. How are you?
See what I mean? His biggest thing is, he doesn't want people to leave.
Yeah.
He's
How could we leave now?
he's sensing that you're getting ready to
Oh,
leave.
yeah.
So we'll try to shepherd you to stay.
Yeah. Blocking us.
He's the first big dog I'm not scared of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Buddy. No, he wouldn't know. He's never even had a fight with an animal
Yeah.
in his life. He'll chase deer off the deer come in and try to eat from the garden, and he'll
Bark
chase
at
them. He'll bark at them, but he doesn't. He's just not an aggressive creature. Are you, buddy?
I told them about Catahoula.
Oh yeah, he would. He loved his little cat.
Yes, we're talking about your kitty.
Aw.
But I think a coyote
Yeah.
at night. Coyotes roam around through the streets here.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
You'll see them in the middle of the night, and they feed on house cats.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to catch the deer.
Mm.
The deer. There's so many deer in this village
There was 7 deer in the post office parking lot.
Oh.
7.
7 here.
I was sitting outside. It was around 5 o'clock in the morning, and there was 7
Wow.
in the post
Crazy.
office.
They're like squirrels
And
because they have no predators inside
Yeah.
the village.
Yeah.
They're safe. They can eat everybody's gardens, and
my daughter,
they're everywhere.
we took a video. We had 5 bucks. It was in the fall with the big antlers.
Oh.
5 bucks.
Can you get my phone? I'll show them that. When my grandkids left here and went home last night, as they were driving to their home, which is about 35 miles away, a moose came out in the road.
Oh, okay.
And they took a video of it. I'll show it to you.
Oh.
It's only a few seconds.
We saw a bunch of deer.
Yeah,
videos
at the
there.
cashier's outlook. We saw 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well-
the moose is like pretty big, right?
Oh, the moose. I was shocked at the video. I've only seen a moose a couple times.
Oh.
But this thing, my one granddaughter, who's 10, she was saying it looks like a giant donkey.
Oh. Oh my
Oh,
god.
Tall.
Wow.
You can
That's so
send
big.
you the video.
Oh, yeah.
That was just last night on the way home.
Oh.
He was trying to
See how
take a
big it
is?
video of it. Why don't you send it?
Wanna come with us?
Yeah, what's your, if you want, I can text it to you.
Yeah, sure, you can.
Okay, you can text me.
Let's see. How will I best do this? Guess I have to create a contact, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Name Rahul. R-A-H-U-L.
And the phone. Is it better to get it by email or phone?
Phone is that one. 929 832.
Yeah, well, then you can watch it at your leisure, but
Yeah.
that's a that just happened last night as
Last
they were
night.
going home.
But the house was really good. Like you guys have set it really well. We had such a wonderful time.
Small things. Like we're just trying to look at that, look
Yeah.
at that.
Like everything has
Work
its
around.
significance.
Yeah.
It was so good.
We try to make it fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Really warm. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, even if you don't go anywhere, you can stay at the house and have fun.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, anytime we come to Adirondack, for sure.
Yeah.
I think
We'll recommend our friends as well. Anyone is planning to come, this is the place to stay.
Well, that's wonderful
Thank
to
you.
hear. We'd
Yeah.
love to have them, truly. This has been fun for us to have people come and
Yeah.
get to know them.
Meet new people from all over the place.
Yeah. So we really enjoy it. And we have 16 grandkids.
16.
So it's so nice.
16?
It's
Wow.
16, yeah. So it's so nice to have you guys here. Like when I heard you walking, I reminded me of having my kids
Ah.
here. So,
Hey, sweetie,
yeah.
is this something you want to hang on to?
What?
When Brooklyn was the world.
Oh, no. There you go.
What is that? When
When
Oh,
Brooklyn-
again the Brooklyn thing. 1920 to
You can have
1957. Lot to read.
Yeah.
Well, the pictures themselves are so interesting.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're working on infrastructure.
Exactly. Makes it fun. It's
Yeah.
not only the text, we have the photos, so that makes it interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you might even learn something.
Exactly. Yeah. I can take it to my office and read whenever I get time.
Yeah.
I have a friend who lives in Brooklyn who was an architect, and he worked on a lot of train stations, Grand Central Station.
Grand Central. Oh, okay.
And he did a lot of design in Philadelphia at the train station. He did a lot of renovations. That was his specialty, was transportation buildings. Being the head architect on them. Now he's retired, and he has a carriage house. He owns a brownstone, and he has a carriage house, and he spent $500,000 on renovating it, and they won't give him. He wanted it for a guest room when his sons would come and visit him,
Mhm.
and they won't give him permission to occupy it.
Take
Oh.
0.5.
He spent $500,000 on it.
Oh God.
Eventually they will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said eventually, but they try and they milk you for a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a private homeowner, it's
Like,
Stay.
well. That really sounds like a fascinating project
I know it does.
because you have to not only evaluate the ground around where you're working, but the pressure of the water
Exactly.
against
You
it.
mean you have water 50 feet high right next
Yeah.
to the site, so
I can imagine that the
I'm
amount
right here.
of pressure created by that much water, you really have to think
have
through
how do you
and what
get him
the
to-
hardness of the ground around you.
exactly.
What is the are you in the bedrock?
We were planning to drill till the bedrock, but we couldn't get there.
Is it mostly sand, the composition?
Yeah, we have some sand, we have some boulders, big boulders, and
Well,
the thing.
that's the outfall of that's the can't think of the word, from the Wisconsin Glacier.
Yeah.
Most of Long Island,
Exactly.
Expressions, you know. like-
Brooklyn is part of
First time I
Long
noticed that
Island.
dog has
There's not a
expressions,
lot of
Yeah.
bedrock
excited.
Yeah.
in
Come on,
Brooklyn,
Buddhist.
in Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
On the North Shore, there's a couple of mountains, hills on the North Shore of Long Island, but really it's mostly that's the deposit.
Yeah, glacial deposits,
Glacial,
exactly.
Well, I can't think of the word.
Well, he's
Not
loving
moraine.
this attention.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
The outwash from, a big deposit. There.
Yeah, the
It's
rock.
how that's understood to be.
Yeah, the bedrock was I think 200 feet
200 feet
below the
down,
ground
yeah.
surface, so that's steep.
When I was a little girl, my grandparents still lived in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I moved in 1963,
Okay,
I don't know, it was
but
too-
I would go
too
and
fast.
stay in Bay Ridge at
Bay
their
Ridge.
apartment.
Like 1 second.
And the one thing I remember was the water tasted awful.
off.
Awful. It always came out warm
He's like
and
totally having fun.
slow.
Ah.
Like they had an old-fashioned faucet,
Faucet. Uh-huh.
and it came out. It kind of trickled out, and it was warm. It never was
Oh.
cold, even on cold. It was just
Not good.
warm, and it just tasted like chemicals.
Experience
And I was like
Like,
maybe
you wanna cuddle
6,
with him.
and I couldn't drink the water.
Couldn't drink
That's
the
how it
water.
was in Woodbridge too.
Was it?
Growing up, yeah.
I think now it might have improved, but back then it might be a problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because back in the '60s, I mean, what, and my grandparents' home, they bought in the '20s,
Okay,
and they never did
never
anything.
did anything.
So the pipes and everything were from
Now I
the
get
'20s,
the
so 100 years ago.
like, so
You don't know
it
like
is
what all
better
affects the
than-
water.
Yeah, but it was bad. I remember hating, and there was no such thing as
How do you make
bottled
it
water
Like
back
when you
then.
look
Nothing.
at it, because I-
No bottled water.
It
Wow.
is so
No,
like,
no,
Interesting.
no.
so
My
much-
grandparents would have us go every time we'd go down, go out to a spring with them in Menlo Park, and
Just
fill gallon jugs with spring water because they couldn't stand to drink the water.
Yeah, there was. Well, the plastic was
I
barely
think
out,
Yeah,
Makes
Oh,
milk
yeah,
came
yeah,
in
true.
glass containers.
or cardboard.
Then they came out with cardboard in the '60s, but
So
uh,
there was no bottled water, so you
No
had
plastic.
to drink that water.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I think stand up. Then he'll stand up maybe. Yeah, there he goes.
Okay.
Now you should get it. Come on, Brutus. Picture. Smile. Smile, Brutus.
Here.
Looky here. Good boy.
We're just. Let's have a red.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
Good boy.